Welcome to Wanderlust History. We explore the most powerful empires, mysterious leaders, and turning points that shape the world we live in today. If you enjoy stories that uncover the rise and fall of civilizations, today, the rise and fall of Chinese dynasties. The power of emperors. For more than 2,000 years, powerful families ruled China like living gods. They commanded armies, controlled massive cities, and governed one of the largest civilizations on Earth. Emperors sat at the top of a system that millions of people believed was chosen by heaven itself. Their word was law. Their decisions shaped the lives of entire generations. But there is something strange about this story. Almost every dynasty believed its rule would last forever. Each emperor thought his power would continue for centuries. Yet again and again, these dynasties collapsed. Some fell through rebellion, some fell through corruption, others simply crumbled under the weight of their own power. So here is the question that historians still debate today. Did these dynasties fall because of weak rulers, or was collapse always waiting in the shadows of every empire? Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Now let us travel back thousands of years to the moment when China first became an empire. Long before China became one united nation, the land was divided into several rival kingdoms. These states were constantly fighting each other in brutal wars that lasted for generations. Each kingdom wanted control. Each ruler wanted to dominate the others. Then one man changed everything. His name was Qin Shi Huang. He was the leader of the Qin dynasty, and his ambition was unlike anything the region had seen before. He wanted to unite all of China under a single ruler. His armies moved from one kingdom to another, conquering each rival state until no enemy remained strong enough to challenge him. For the first time in history, China was unified into one empire. But unity came at a very high cost. The emperor believed that absolute control was the only way to maintain order. Books that disagreed with the government were burned. Scholars who criticized the ruler were punished. Laws became extremely strict, and the people were forced to obey them without question. At the same time, the emperor also introduced systems that would shape China for centuries. He standardized the writing system so people across the empire could communicate more easily. He created uniform coins so trade could function smoothly. He built roads that connected distant regions of the empire. Perhaps his most famous project was the early construction of what would later become the Great Wall of China. But here is the surprising twist. The dynasty that united China collapsed only a few years after the emperor died. After the Qin dynasty fell, a new power rose from the chaos. The Han Dynasty. This dynasty ruled China for more than 400 years and created one of the greatest golden ages in ancient history. Trade expanded across Asia through the famous Silk Road. Chinese silk, ceramics, and luxury goods traveled thousands of miles. Foreign merchants arrived with new ideas, cultures, and products. Inside the empire, innovation continued to grow. Paper was developed, allowing knowledge to be recorded and shared more easily. Farming tools improved, which increased food production for millions of people. China was becoming one of the most advanced civilizations in the world. But even during this golden age, problems were quietly growing. Powerful officials fought for influence around the emperor. Corruption began spreading inside the government. Over time, the trust between rulers and the people slowly weakened. Eventually, rebellions broke out across the empire. And once again, a powerful dynasty collapsed. Centuries later, another dynasty pushed Chinese civilization to even greater heights: the Tang Dynasty. Many historians consider this period one of the greatest cultural ages in Chinese history. The empire became wealthy and influential. Its capital city was one of the largest and most vibrant cities in the world. Artists, poets, and scholars flourished. Trade networks expanded across continents. Travelers from distant regions visited China to experience its powerful economy and rich culture. China stood at the center of global exchange. But power always creates pressure. Over time, military leaders began gaining more authority inside the empire. Some generals controlled huge regions far away from the central government. Eventually, a massive rebellion erupted that nearly destroyed the dynasty. Millions of lives were lost during the conflict. The empire survived for some time afterward, but it never regained its former strength. Another important dynasty followed, the Song dynasty. This period was known for incredible technological progress. Printing technology expanded knowledge. Gunpowder weapons appeared in warfare. Cities grew larger, and trade became stronger. But the dynasty faced a serious weakness: military power. Strong enemies surrounded the empire. Northern forces repeatedly threatened Chinese borders. In some cases, the government paid rival states in order to avoid war. This strategy bought time, but it also created doubt among the people. If the emperor could not protect the empire, should he still rule it? Eventually, the pressure from outside enemies became too strong. The dynasty fell. The final chapter of Imperial China belonged to the Qing dynasty. This dynasty ruled China for nearly 300 years. At its peak, the empire controlled vast lands and governed hundreds of millions of people. For a long time, it remained one of the most powerful states in the world. But the world around China was changing quickly. Foreign nations demanded greater access to Chinese trade. Western technology advanced rapidly. Meanwhile, corruption weakened the government from within. Large rebellions broke out across the empire. Millions of lives were lost in these internal conflicts. By the early 20th century, the imperial system that had ruled China for more than 2,000 years could no longer survive. In 1912, the Qing dynasty officially collapsed. The age of Chinese dynasties had finally come to an end. For centuries, dynasties shaped the destiny of China. Some rulers brought peace and innovation. Others ruled with strict control or failed leadership. But nearly every dynasty followed the same pattern. They rose to power. They expanded their influence. They faced internal struggles. And eventually they fell. Which leaves us with one fascinating question. Was the collapse of these dynasties caused by corruption and human mistakes? Or is the rise and fall of empires simply a cycle that every civilization must face? What do you think? Which Chinese dynasty changed history the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the rise and fall of Chinese dynasties, please like the video, subscribe to Wanderlust History, and turn on your notifications for more stories that shaped our world. Because history is full of empires that believed they would last forever. Yet time always has the final word.